Hi, happy Sunday. I just heard someone explain a concept of something that I've been experiencing for the past several years that it was such a great explanation, and it just gave a deeper understanding to why I am so addicted to that feeling on the other side of fear. And it also helped me to understand the difference between anxiety and what I call anxiousness. Because, people, we don't like anxiety. We talk about that being a bad thing. And when anxiety is attached to being stuck in a life that you don't want to be in, stuck maybe in a safe place, but it doesn't lead you to where you want to go, that is a feeling of anxiety because it's like stuckness. It's like worrying about things that may happen or that might not happen maybe, and not having the ability or the drive to do anything about it. And that creates an anxiety that isn't a good place to be. It's a horrible place to be. If you've ever had anxiety, it doesn't feel good. Then we have this idea of stepping out of the comfort zone, and it creates a feeling of anxiety as well. And I actually like to call it anxiousness, just to differentiate between the two, because that feeling is a great feeling, and it's actually a necessary feeling. So we love to feel good as human beings. We go to, motivational conferences, or we love to have our favorite comfort food and watch our favorite movie, or we love to, hear stories that make us feel good. And a lot of times people will mistake that kind of a thing for growth or for happiness or for joy, and when those things are gone, we step right back into the lives where we are, or that we are used to living, and we feel anxiety again eventually, or frustration it might feel like instead. There's different words you can attach to it, but it doesn't feel good, right? And so we go back to the place of feeling good. So we might numb with something. Maybe it's with food. We numb with movies. We numb with working a lot. We numb with going to, listening to personal development books and podcasts and conferences. And then instead of making the decision to actually step into a new kind of anxiety, which is anxiousness, that doesn't feel good either, we just continue to stay there because we think it's better than feeling anxiety, and it doesn't feel scary either. It's not hard. So this is why I become so addicted, though, to the stepping out of my comfort zone. It's because that feeling of anxiousness is actually necessary to have the growth that we desire and to actually create the life that we desire to live. And as human beings, all of us want more. There's the thing about being grateful for what we have and never being satisfied with where we are, because we're progressive beings. We are meant to progress. That's why we're here. That's my opinion, perhaps. However, it's I think founded in truth. But anyway, we will never feel completely happy or joyful staying where we are, because we're made to progress. And it feels scary. It's not safe. And we're also programmed to feel safe. And that's, a divine design as well. So if I want to grow, if I want to progress, I actually have to step out of my comfort zone, which creates a feeling of anxiousness, I like to call it. It's not, at first at least, it's not a great feeling. Like, it's very uncomfortable. It's very, it can cause all kinds of clutter in your brain. It can, cause like sweating and fear and shaking and trembling and shaky voice and crying even. All kinds of visceral responses. And when you hang in it, you stay there, eventually that fog clears up and you get a new way of thinking, and you experience life on a whole new level. And that's what I have become addicted to, is that feeling once I come out of it. And I've become so addicted to that feeling coming out of it that I'm actually quite addicted to the feeling while I'm in it as well. And it feels much better than this anxiety of being stuck. And so my point is, we have to be there. And there's so many times too when, I talk a lot about stepping out of the comfort zone, and I actually coach it. I help people to find what it is they're afraid of by paying attention to the things that they say they will never do, or listening to their excuses and then doing those things. And so a lot of times what I notice is that people will do it one time, or they'll watch me, or they'll watch someone else, and they'll do the same thing that I did, thinking it's their fear. And that doesn't work, and that's a whole other subject. But once somebody has found that thing that they are afraid of, and they do it one time, they can feel like, well, it should be better now. And so then they can feel frustrated and actually go backward because they don't want to do it again. I don't want to feel that way again if it's not going to work. So we go back to I'm not going to do it at all, which actually makes us more frustrated because we were on our way and then we went back. Kind of like maybe winning the lottery, and we have this, I don't know what to do with this money, and it's kind of so anxious that we spend it to get back here. And then we miss the money, and so we can go back here to, frustration. And I've never won the lottery, so that's a perception, and I'm maybe even making up what it feels like. However, I can imagine that that's what it would feel like a little bit. So when I first started stepping out of my comfort zone, my first really big step after the initial discovery that I liked the feeling was putting my hair up. And it may not be scary for anyone else, but for me it was really scary because it was a symbol of being seen, a symbol of not hiding anymore, and it was also attached to a lot of stories that I won't go into. Anyway, I put my hair up. I had to do it in baby steps, and I had to do it repetitively. First I did it at home, and then I went all day at home, and then I wore it to school. And that's when it got really big and bad. So I love to feel good at school. I love to be able to think clearly. I love to be able to learn. And I sat in class with my hair up, which meant everyone could see me, I thought. Nobody probably even cared. They probably didn't even notice. But at that point, I just felt very exposed. And so I couldn't pay attention in class. And so I felt this anxiety of not being able to be comfortable in class and be able to learn. And what I wanted more was to not feel that way anymore. I wanted the growth. I craved that more than my feeling of normal calmness in class, and so I kept doing it, but it was hard, and I can't even explain, like it almost hurt. It was just so horrible, and I kept doing it, and I made myself do it, and I made myself experience all of that confusion and all of that anxiousness, until one day it just went away, and it was really cool. It was all of a sudden like my brain said, oh, okay, this is our new normal. And so there was no more fear anymore, and it actually made me laugh a little bit because I started to realize why I'd been afraid of it, and it was such a silly story, and it gave me this freedom of like, wow, that's what it feels like to not have to be afraid of something so silly. And so then I just kept looking for more and more and more things. And so I feel like I'm rambling on and on and on, but my point is, being able to feel good all the time actually is not good for us. It actually causes way more destruction, way more frustration, and a way more feeling stuck in life than allowing ourselves to avoid anxiety, that anxiety of knowing that there's more and not knowing how to have it, or that feeling. Did you guys recognize that feeling? I know that feeling. But compared to the anxiousness of this is new for me and it's scary and I'm not sure if I can do it and I'll probably fail and I might cry, and I'm going to do it anyway because I want what's on the other side. So being able to differentiate the two and allowing myself to stay in that feeling of anxiousness until I got what it was that I wanted has made all the difference. And then the next step. I can't just only wear my hair up and all of a sudden have everything I want, right? After I feel comfortable with that one, it's now what's next, because again, we are progressive beings. So now what is my excuse? Now what fear do I have to step through or get to step through? Now what anxiousness am I going to allow myself to feel until I can have it released and feel comfortable again? And then moving forward, and I don't know if it'll ever stop. I hope it doesn't. I love the way it feels, and I especially love the results. So that's my thoughts for today, and it's a same thought that I share a lot over and over. I just really like the way it was explained to me today, and so I just wanted to pass that on. Maybe it sheds a whole new light, or it gives a new perspective on why do I do all this comfort zone stuff? Why do I harp on it? And why will it probably always be part of my soapbox in life? That's why, because it's exciting, but I wanted to give you just a different perspective to maybe encourage if you're feeling stuck, or if you know someone, we can't do things for other people. So if you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling anxiety and you're tired of that and you'd rather feel the anxiousness that leads to, extreme, joy, then understanding that anxiety, we're going to feel it. We need to feel it. We need to feel the good anxiety and stay out of the bad anxiety. And don't numb. Numbing is worse, I think. So anyway, there you go. That's my words for today. It's my Simply Me Saturday on Sunday. See you later.